All right, boys and girls. Today, in our little sauce series, I guess you would call it, I'm making some ribeye brisket burgers, sliders actually, and I'm going to make my burger sauce. And then we are going to make a ground bacon crisp for the top of the burger. And that's about it. We're going to grill them up. So, first off, we're going to bang out the burger sauce. So let me show you how ill prepared I actually am for doing anything like this and find my tools. All right. So I don't really go by a whole lot of measurements, but I'm going to do my best here when it comes to my burger sauce. Um, it's something I've been doing for quite a while. And it keeps going through changes, but I'm kind of at a point right now to where I'm pretty happy with it. So this is what we got going on. We are going to use, I'm only doing some sliders. It'll stay in the fridge for about a week, so I don't really make too big of batches. But what I'm going to do is I am just going to say a quarter cup of mayo. I'm using Duke's. Duke's is the king of mayo, if you want my personal opinion on that. It is the mayo that all other mayo should be compared to. So we're going to go just like that on, that's a little bit heavier than a quarter cup, but hey, whatever. We're rolling with it. Then we are going to take dill relish. Get the hell out of here with that sweet stuff. Want nothing to do with that. And we are going to do 2 tablespoons of the dill relish. Now, if you don't have relish, I use pickle a lot as well, and then I just use like the stick blender or whatever, and grind them all up in there. They're good too, especially with some good old Clausen's or that kind of stuff. So now we got that. Now we got some yellow mustard. We're going to do about a teaspoon of yellow mustard. And then we are going to do about the same of just some straight up white vinegar. Just like so. Might need a little bit more of that. I'm just going to grab a fork here. Just going to check my consistency. That'll actually be pretty nice. Now, we are going to do about a half teaspoon, a little less of cayenne. You can adjust that to however you want. There's a lot of vinegar in there. You got the dill in there. It's pretty fresh. You got the mayo to cut through, a lot of fat in that. So you got to have a little bit of heat, About a half a teaspoon granulated garlic. About a half a teaspoon of smoked paprika. And about a half a teaspoon of granulated onion. You don't want much in there, otherwise it gets grainy, It doesn't need much. So now we're going to just do that. And you're just going to mix it up. I'm just using a fork so I can get a good mix on that stuff. Just like that. Oh, man, stuff is awesome, guys. Seriously, it really is. And let's see what it tastes like. It's perfect. It's perfect. So there's our burger sauce, man. I'm just going to lid that. I'll toss it in the fridge and just let it wait for our burgers to get done. So now we're going to make our grind. Now, there's going to be some people that are going to climb up my ass because I grind ribeye for burgers. But if you've seen any of my videos, you know I get my ribeye in roast. I typically get it on sale, and I butcher it up myself. So I always leave some. And in all honesty, this right here, even just this single thin sliced ribeye, will make 4+ sliders. Nice size sliders too. So it doesn't take a whole hell of a lot. I love just the richness of ribeye in a burger. It's fantastic. And then the other side of things, like a lot of times I'll just do that. If I do have some brisket around, then I will blend them for sure, because the brisket, while you get that nice, just that richness of the ribeye, the brisket really brings in that beefy flavor, you know? And this is a flat. It's well marbled. If you are going to just do brisket flat in your grind, and like with no chuck or anything, it's best to use one that still has the fat cap on one side. There's still a ton of fat inside of it, ton of marbling. So, I mean, it's still good, but it'll be super lean, and you really need it. And that's where this guy comes in. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to do equal parts. I'm doing 50-50. Whatever ratio that works out, whether it's 80-20, 70, I don't know. All I know, it's 50-50 equal delicious. That's how I go by it. So for the ribeye, all I'm going to do is any of the nasty, the stringy fat, any of the sinew, any of that stuff, we're taking that right out of there. So what I do is I usually pull my edge off, because I want to use a lot of the fat from the ribeye, but I don't want that stringy stuff in there. It's no fun to bite into that in a burger. So then I'll take the cap off of it. I usually leave all this right here just to make sure it's clear. Trim this outside here so you have this nice, the stuff that you can actually peel apart, not the stringy stuff. So I'll just trim all that right down, put it off to the side, and then I'm just going to do 1-inch chunks, Now, as for the inside of the ribeye, there's always the ribeye roll, the ribeye cap. So I usually cut along that, because inside that ribeye cap, you have more of that stringy, more of that, that sinew kind of nasty stuff right there. That doesn't grind well, doesn't chew well. I don't want to eat it. And I'm going to pull that off just like that. We got one little other part in the roll right here. It looks like it has some. Trim that out of there. Take that fat chunk. We're going to use that. And again, we're just going to cube this up, 1-inch chunks. This right here, we're not eating that either. So we got this. That's all good. That's all good. 1-inch chunk this right here. Call it a day. Now I'm going to take my brisket flat here, and I'm going to cut about proportionate to the size of ribeye steak I just used. That I'll be using up as well, but then not for this. So I am, again, going to 1-inch cook it. If you see any of that stringy stuff on the outside, any of that silver skin, cut it off. Again, 1-inch chunk this. Mix it up. Let's grind it. All right, I know you've guys seen me grind meat many times. I usually use my Ninja. But just because this is the video for it, a lot of people use a meat grinder. And really, when it comes to the sliders and what I'm going to be doing with the bacon, this actually works really well. So we're going to do that. Let me give you up here a little bit so you can see the whole picture on what's going on. And we are just going to plug it in. Electricity. I'm going to go on a 2. Now this meat is cold as well, so you never want to do this when your meat is warm. just emulsifies that fat, and it's nasty. So I try to do this as quickly as possible. Just like that. Give her one more blast. We're going to go on a 3 here. Try to get a good blend of the, I mean, you mix it in the bowl afterwards, but I just find that if I take my time and put a little bit of the brisket and the ribeye together when I grind it, and it just comes out even better, you know? So that's what we're doing. You'd be surprised how much burger meat this actually makes, you know? And if you get good burger meat, you're paying, you know, $4+ a pound anyway, you know? So why not just make your own and make it out of some real good meat? Live your life, guys. Shop smart. Oh, look at them fatty chunks coming through there. It's the good stuff right there. Just like so. We're going to put a little mild cheddar in this mix. We're going to season it. And we're going to be living the life. Just like that. Check that grind out. Look at that. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Yum. All right. After I finger bang that whole thing. All right. Kill this. Now I'm going to set this over here. And I'll be right back. All right. Now we are going to do our bacon chips. We're going to take some nice thick cut bacon here. We're going to cube it up, 1-inch chunks, just like the meat. Like so. Now let's head on over and grind it. Come on over here. Oh, you can see everything. Just going to put a plate underneath this so it'll be fine. What could go wrong, right? So we're just going to take our bacon, put it up here, ready to go. Just like that. All right. I'm going to go around a 2 on this. And we are going to grind it up. Nice coarse grind. Just like so. Oh, drop some. Come on, you can do it. Yeah, let's kick her up one. Power. We need more power. Just got a nice little vacuum going on here. You can do it. You can do it. Oh, Jesus. Buck wild. Just like that. Come on. Stuff gets sticky, icky, but it's so good. Especially when we're finished what we're doing with it. All right, yeah, a little more power. Push that shit out. If it gets a little too stuck, you can always add like an ice cube, but I'm just going to push through it. Just like that. That was about 6 slices, I believe, just in case you were wondering. Beautiful. Oh, I forgot we got our Lone Ranger piece down here. Oh, well. The dogs are like that. Here, let me wash my hands and we'll get back to it. All right. This works way better if you have nitros, but I have none. So we're just going to deal with it. We're going to take this bacon mix right here, and we're just going to put it in little piles. Making 4 sliders. I want 4 piles. Should be just enough. Just like that. Now, I'm just going to take our parchment here, fold it over, and press it. You want to press it nice and thin. A lot's going to burn away. You know, the fat's going to render, all that other good stuff. And just like that, guys. Nice. I'm going to move these down a little bit. I misjudged my size. Just like that. And like that. Just like that. All right, so now these things, I'm just going to put it on a tray, put it in the fridge. You want these nice and cold. Let them set up really, really good. If you don't have a whole lot of time, like a few hours, which I don't, you put them in the freezer and set them up nice and quickly. So I'll do that in a second. I'm going to be going in the freezer with those because it's already 4:30. So now our burger. I'm just going to lightly, when it comes to my burgers, my seasoning, I'm a purist, man. Little salt, not much, because I salt the outside because it gives me a nice crust, and some black pepper. And that's seriously it. I don't mess with any of that other stuff. Mild cheddar. I love mild cheddar in a burger. There's just enough sharpness to go with the beef, and it's so good, man. So now we're going to get dirty here because I don't like to mash my meat. Don't play with your meat so long. And I am just going to toss it in just so the cheese, that little bit of salt and pepper, all that stuff just kind of gets incorporated. You know what I mean? Just like that. Just so it's everywhere. Doesn't need much. We're putting cheese on the burgers as well. But this just, the way it cooks inside and then some of it oozes out and gets all crispy, and it's a game changer, man. I love it. Just like that. So now I'm going to grab another piece of parchment paper, except I'm all out. I got to find something. All right, we're back. Just going to take a piece of parchment, and I'm going to take one more. Put that off to the side. So I'm going to be using this. You can use any type of press, anything at all. So it's a nice flat bottom press, just like that. So now I'm going to take our burger mix, and I am going to just barely ball it. Do just like that. Again, barely balling it. Yum. It's awesome. You know what? Actually, I'm just going to do 4, and I'm going to be freezing the rest of that. I forgot that I'm only doing 4 tonight. So we're going to do it just like that. I'll ziplock and put it away. Let's move these into a better space. We are going to cover them with the parchment, and this way I do this so you don't play with it so much. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to take my mash here, and I'm just going to bring them down. Just bring them down to slider size. They're going to shrink, just like that. Now we have beautiful patties. Let me show you what I'm talking about. What happens when you don't manhandle all the meat. You see all that? You can see the actual grind chunks. It's just, man, it makes all the difference in the world on a burger. My opinion, of course. So, I'm just going to, here, let me show you what I'm doing. Watch me doing it. I'm just tightening up my corners right here. You know, any stragglers that are sticking out of the edges, we're just going to do it like that. And that's it. I will salt and pepper right when I'm ready to cook them. I do not salt and pepper my meat beforehand. Draws moisture out, man. Unless you let it sit long enough for that moisture that it draws out to go back into the meat, all you're doing is ruining your meat. So you're drying it out. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to throw these on a pan, and I'm just going to put these in the fridge until we're ready to cook. All right, guys. So we're out here. Got our fire lit. This is what I got going on. So I got a full chimney going on in here. I have the prime 6 over here, about 3 chunks that I still had, 4 chunks from I had from the last cook. Got those lit underneath the chimney. Those things burn crazy hot, so they'll work great for the iron. I'm going to use the cast iron for our bacon chips. And then I have the coals spread out over here, so I have a cook area for our burgers. And then I have, a no coal, oh shit zone over here, So once the burgers are done, I have a place where I can rest them. I don't have to worry about it, in case something goes down in the middle of the cook, I'm running in and out of the house, whatever. I always leave myself the safe zone, man. So I'm going to keep this guy open. I got the door open over here. I got the stack open over here. I got everything open. We're just grilling tonight. So I'm just going to let this iron get nice and hot, and we'll get our bacon in there. All right, guys. So here we are. I'm just going to show a little bit of the process. Try to keep this video down a little bit. Got nice hot iron. Here's our bacon chips. As you can see, this is what we end up with. Right into the iron. And don't touch them. Let those things cook. Get down. Don't move them. Don't wiggle them. Don't mess with them. Unless you put them in there wrong and you got to make some room. Should be all right. Hasn't been in there long enough yet. There we go. This one is just a weird shape, man. So just push him off to the side a little bit, flatten him back down, and call that a day. We're going to have one that's not so pretty, guys. Can't win them all, All right, that's it. So I'm just going to let them get nice and crispy. When I flip, then I'll get our burgers on. All right. So I got them flipped there. Just letting them crisp up on the other side. Getting nice and good. And we got our patties. Seasoned with salt and pepper. We got this straggler here. My wife wanted bison, so I made her a bison patty. So what we're going to do is utilize our hot spot. Just throw them on. I'm sure everybody has made burgers before, so I don't need to get too detailed on this. I'm just going to cook them, get a nice crust on one side, flip them over, get a nice crust on that side, put them over to the safe zone, let them finish off. I'm going to let my bacon, make sure I render a lot of that fat out because I want them crispy. I want it almost like a chip, which is why I ground it like that. It gives you, it's a whole different sense, man. Even though it's just bacon, it's a different texture from the grind and stuff like that. It just adds a different dynamic to it. So I'm just going to let these guys go, let them get kissed and all that other good stuff. All right, guys. So what I've got so far here, check it out. Got a nice, beautiful crust on them things. I'll show you closer when it's in the house. The fire is crazy hot right now. And the camera keeps getting way too warm. So I'm just letting the cheese melt, just throwing some of that smoke out there a little bit. I choked everything down. Just going to, the residual heat that's left in here, there's no sense burning the rest of that coal up. But then what we're going to do is I'm going to grab the pan that we cooked the bacon crisps in. I threw them on a piece of paper towel. I dumped out most of the bacon grease. It just left maybe a half a teaspoon, just a little coating on the bottom. And we're going to bring that back out here, and we're going to toast our buns off in that. So, all right. So we got our burgers off. Got our buns in our iron there. Just going to give them just a little slight toasty. Got some little pretzel slider buns. And we're going to go build some burgers. All right, guys. Let's build the slider. We got our nice little toasty buns. Just a slight little toast on them. Take our slider. See that beautiful crust on them things? Just like that. Throw him down there. Take our bun. Some of that kill sauce on there. That's the good stuff. Minced onion, rehydrated. And one of our bacon chips. Right on there like that. Fresh chopped baby arugula. Right there, guys. That's a burger. Brisket, ribeye, and bacon chips. All right, guys. I got to build the rest of these. The natives are getting restless. That's all I got.